Here the damage seems not so great.
It appears Nilfgaard's not yet turned its forces towards the capital. We're likely to encounter no more than pathfinders and foragers.
So I hope.
The Nilfgaardian invasion necessitated certain steps. Niamh had dispatched scrolls to her garrison commanders, based upon which they were to announce general musters. She'd hoped that by the time she reached Crydam, fresh recruits would be waiting to join her growing force. Alas, the commander of this fort, one Sergeant Griggs, had only bad news.
Your Majesty, I've not the numbers to man the walls even. The call to arms brings few new recruits and more men desert each day. Folk are terrified something awful. They don't believe in victory.
They don't believe in victory?
The Queen rose from behind the table, toppling her chair.
Then let them hear how I smashed the Blackclads at Dravograd.
Quick as can be, the commander gathered all Crydam's inhabitants in the central square. Niamh stepped out in front of the crowd and recounted her most recent victory. The folk of Crydam listened with bated breath.
And so, we must stand together. Fight, arm in arm. Be a wall against which black-clad hordes will be dashed.
The townsfolk responded with thunderous applause, yet enthusiasm is rarely long-lived. That born of Niamh's fiery words had dispersed after but a few days. No new volunteers joined the garrison, and the townsfolk hid from Sergeant Griggs to avoid being pressed into service. Neither the town's nor the Queen's own company were reinforced, and Niamh left Crydam angry as a wasp.
Take it anymore. One bolt all I need.
We must trust each other!
Use it. Not Overwatch just yet, though.
A contract on a monster. Interesting.
Lady, something's wrong at Abbott's Ravine. I heard whinnies and screams at first. How all's gone silent. Why ever do the gods punish us so? To be cast out by Nilfgaard, and now to face beasts. Night on the High Road, a day afore last, claimed the beasts called a girly Cora or some such. Night on the High Road, a day afore last, claimed the beasts called a girly Cora or some such.
Dragon! A live one, seen it with my own eyes. Had winged like a bat and a mess of teeth. A dragon! A live one, seen it with my own eyes. Had winged like a bat and a mess of teeth.
Got any victuals? Hungry like a wolf I am.
Company! Forward march!
Ballista, your command. Armor won't save.
Well? The worm, just as I said. Now who's addled in the head, eh? Well? The worm, just as I said. Now who's addled in the head, eh?
As Meave and company traversed the ruddy meadows, strident voices reached their ears.
I beg your pardon. I've heard enough. A duel. I challenge you to a duel.
A duel? Nonsense. I'd sooner lay you across my lap and give your arse a thorough flailing, you scoundrel.
The Queen approached the arguing parties. two nobles, Lords Cartwright and Mansfield. Quickly she ascertained they were up in arms over ownership of an orchard lying between their estates. Assisting both nobles, their kinsmen, armed to the teeth, prepared to leap at each other and crush heads. Upon spotting Meave, the lords lowered their voices, bowed and presented themselves. Yet they could not keep their ire fettered long, and were soon casting aspersions again.
Your Grace, Mansfield has seized it. No, stolen my land. Land that has been in my family for generations.
It is my recompense for your reckless deeds. To burn down me mill in Furchin for a bit of sawdust in your flour? Well, I never.
A bit? Oh, let me at him. Farman's taken ill, cook's feverish, all from that manure. You are a fraud, sir. A fraud and a thief.
Though she faced the not at all trifling matter of the Nilfgaardian invasion, Meave agreed to settle the dispute. Reynard, who knew the history of every Lyrian and Rivian family 7 generations back, served as her advisor.
No doubt I would find for the Cartwrights. They are in the right here, as regards the title to the land. Yet your grace must consider, the Mansfields have ever served the crown and never delayed payment of tribute. Whereas the Cartwrights are litigious charlatans who owe the royal treasury thousands, many thousands.
The orchard must go to the vassal unburdened by debt. This is what I prefer,
said Meave.
Thus I declare it Mansfield's.
But the law clearly says...
I am the law, Cartwright.
Lord Cartwright moved to debate the matter further, but a snort from Reynard reminded him he stood before his liege. Mansfield, content, made an ample contribution to bolster Meave's force and the realm's defense.
So you see, my dear Cartwright, justice has been served. So you see, my dear Cartwright, justice has been
On their way to the capital, Meave and company happened one fine day upon a lone rider. Had I been at her side, I would immediately have recognized his passionate gaze and altogether chivalrous mien.
Identify yourself, sir, and your intent.
Ake of Denel I am dubbed, and my design I never conceal. The good book says the world is a garden which the gods once conferred upon man, and we men have this garden neglected. In consequence, all manner of filth has made its lair here. Drowners, ghouls, and other kobolds. I have sworn ne'er to rest until the day when, with the gods' help, I have rid the world of these beasts and pests. I wander all lands, seeking out evil and facing it in mortal combat.
Who do we spy? A knight-errant?
Just as likely a madman. How goes your hunt? Caught the trail of any monster?
Monster? Too fair a term by far. An exceptionally vile worm has made its lair in nearby caverns. It is said to be the very distillation of filth. A slither in horror. A mélange of the macabre. Its head, that of a wild cat of Ophir. Its maw full of spiked teeth. The wings of a bat it is said to have. The tail of a scorpion, and from it a thick venom drips. Learned men call this variety a manticore, or mardiacore.
Perhaps it will be most prudent, then, to send for a witcher.
A witcher? Soulless automatons they are, all, feeding on common folk's fears. What they demand gold to do, I perform without demand of any coin.
Sir Ake, far be it from me to discourage you. Your endeavour is noble, no doubt, but from what I have heard, manticores are exceedingly dangerous beasts.
To defeat this filth alone could be a difficult task, I'll not deny. Yet try it I must, for it is what I have sworn before the gods.
We shall help you find and fight the manticore, provided you then pledge to help us fight an even fiercer and filthier beast.
Of course, my lady. Yet what manner of horror is it? A viper? A griffin? A drake of some rare form?
Were it only. 'Tis a beast of 1,000 heads, covered in black armor, its fire consuming whole villages.
Noble lady. I know bestiar is only in parts, yet I've seen some of the world, and never have I heard of such a terror.
You need but look about you, and spot Nilfgaard's legions.
Devastating. But you must forgive me, your grace. This struggle between realms is not one to which I can lay a hand.
If such is your view, I shall not insist. The care you show for my folk I greatly appreciate, Sir Ake of Denell. Godspeed.
And to you, your majesty.
Not a scrap. Nothing to bury. Not a scrap. Nothing to bury. Blood's all that's left behind. A whole village. Just one big grave now. Hallowed Mother, look upon these stricken souls what suffered evil. Protect, console. Hallowed Mother, look upon these stricken souls what suffered evil. Protect, console. Hallowed Mother, look upon these stricken souls what suffered evil.
One of them golden sons belongs on the side of my own ship. Nilfgaardians make for good prisoners, good slaves too. They got black shells, but the meat inside's red. Nilfgaardians make for good prisoners, good slaves too.
Oh, quiet in here. Not at all like the Airy Bear.
Yes, Your Grace?
It's time I attended to other matters.
What's a folk moving about of late? Fair live ye's our own land, charming, fertile and grand. Is your majesty also bound for the river, to camp there perchance? Fair live ye's our own land, charming, fertile and grand.
One evening, soldiers brought before Meve the elf she had saved from a lynching. It seemed he had been the fiend who had poisoned the water barrels from which several soldiers had drunk, then suffered and died.
Yes, I did it. And I regret it not one bit.
Seethed the elf.
Nilfgaardian, Temerian, some brute from Lyria, you Dwan are all alike. I detest you. All of you, your filth for what you wrought with my brethren. I'm proud. I am that even a few of your kind perished at my hand. Hail and Shay!
Meve pursed her lips into a thin white line. Reynard knew the expression. It did not bode well.
I should drag you to the capital, hang you high in the market square.
Meve said through gritted teeth.
Yet this you would want, am I right? For your folk to speak of you? For your folk to remember? Well, you shan't have it. You'll hang here, in the middle of nowhere, with but crows to witness it and then pick at your eyes.
It was a summary execution. No sentence was read, no last wish observed. The elf's corpse then hung long at the roadside, as none came forth to claim and bury it.
We welcome you home, Your Majesty. Prince Willem awaits your return, Your Grace. Good you've returned, ma'am. Lyria needs you. Good you've returned, ma'am. Lyria needs you.
Home at last, Your Grace.
We shall not enjoy it long, I fear. Soon we must face the black-clads in the field.
Yet a moment's peace we will have. After that drubbing you gave them at Dravograd, they'll wish to rethink their strategy.
Told you the Queen had flogged those... Told you the Queen had flogged those flea-ridden strays. Knew it all along.
Military watches over us all, yet you do well to remind her through supplication. Thank you, Your Majesty, on our own behalf and on that of our pilgrims.
Well? Well? The worm, just as I said. Now who's addled in the head, eh? Long may she live, our slayer of black-clads! Hip hip hooray!
Milady, they're an Odrin in our ranks. Man calling himself that ran up quite the tab last night, then disappeared with nary a trace.
Neve had ridden out of Lyria in early spring, her retinue modest, as none larger was needed for the brief summit of sovereigns. She returned now to her capital, at the head of an army that dragged behind it bandits and Nilfgaardian prisoners in chains. The whole city came out to greet her, its traders, craftsfolk, priests. Also, her eldest son and heir, Prince Willem, a boy who, it seemed, might never be prepared to rule.